Hey guys, this is a pre-recorded match. We're playing against Sava Girl. She's playing as French on Dry Arabia. So okay, wow. So yeah, this I actually I start the game off. I put my input on, and as you can see, it took a long time for actually the units to start moving. And on my screen, it's actually about 10 seconds before things actually started moving. So there's quite a bit of lag. I'm playing this right now, so it immediately looks like it delays my build about 7 seconds. And then on my screen, it was like 10, 12 seconds that it felt like it was delayed. So it completely like threw off my build. And that's kind of a part where I'm not playing a lot right now because the connection down here is still pretty messed up and it's not very clean. And that kind of makes things pretty tough to play, for sure. A little bit of a mess up here in micro, or macro. I forgot to send these guys over to here. Again, I was playing with weird lag, so it's kind of like Um, I'll try and maybe record the next one live, but yeah, it's pretty bad. It's really rough to do the opening sometimes because it skips around, and then during the game it also skips around. So here we see the scout. We start heading north, and she's kind of finishing scouting around her side. Unluckily for her, there was basically no sheep on this corner, so that's a really big just bad luck there. Just one sheep over here on this whole eastern side of the map, and then on my side I've got 3, 4, 5 sheep. So we get a really good haul here, which is always nice. Again, if we had done a horseman rush, we would be hitting here in about 10 seconds. But again, everything's kind of delayed, so we'd be hitting here in probably like at the 2 minute mark. So almost definitely wouldn't have been worth it. That's the other thing too. When there's lag involved, I almost feel like I might be starting to try out a couple of 2TC builds, because the lag is pretty tough to play with. We did miss one of the sheep here. Looks like. She's dropped off a couple of sheep at her base, and she's finishing scouting around here. It looks like she's just going to miss this one sheep down here in the north-south, though, which is unfortunate. And she's mapping on her side over here, but she does have 3 sheep available over here, which is big. We got a couple of sheep down here. But yeah, our idea here is we're going to try to do the keshik rush again. This time we place our TC really close to our Uber. It did take a little bit more walking time. So any buildings we build next to our Uber, we should be able to protect. Our gold is on the back, so it's relatively safe, just because it's got to walk around to get to it. We bump into a scout here, and we just wanted to finish our scouting. That's why we didn't cut across. We saw her, but we just wanted to finish the scouting, really. I wanted to scout the base out timing-wise. So we just said screw it, and we decided to do that. If we had cut across here, I guess there's 2 sheep we could have been picking up, so maybe in retrospect it was a bad idea that we should have cut across. Because there was actually 3 sheep here in the middle. They're up for grabs. Over here we do find one more sheep though, which is nice, and we have found his base. Again, a little bit of a late reaction because we see it, we react, and then click away, and it takes a little bit for the click to actually register, which is kind of unfortunate. But we barely survived, which is nice. We got 29 HP, so that's always nice. And she just barely misses these sheep here in the middle, which is fortunate for us. And we see she's got plenty of villagers on gold. So this looks to me like some sort of knights coming out. We see School of Cavalry. More villagers on gold. Looks to me like a knight play, for sure. So go back to our vision. We're just finishing scouting around the side of the base. Trade-wise, this is not a great map for trade because we don't have really a safe market to trade to. This northern one is kind of the safest one, but it is a little bit closer than this one. They're both just kind of neutral markets, neutral position map-wise, like mid-map. So she can definitely contest either one of them. So it's going to get a little bit interesting. You can see timing-wise, we're already past our deal 415, 420 mark, significantly. But she also seems to have hit FUH a little bit late as well. So we saw that, and that definitely encouraged us a little bit. And we do have our double keshiks going immediately. and villages being rallied onto food. You can see we're at 10-5-3. So one of those villagers from 2 villagers on food, and then 1 on wood, 1 on gold. So just that keshik rush build, and then I've been kind of just extrapolating on it, trying to figure out what's a really good balance here. I did pull back these villagers because I saw the scout, but again, wasted time, wasted resource because it was just a knight. So a little bit of an overreaction there. And her knight is coming up and across now. Does a pretty good job of, like, I don't know if it's just intentional pathing or if she was intentionally kind of avoiding my units here. But we're sending 2 keshiks over now to raid. We have our Khan over here. We're trying to get vision on the following knights. We are tapping up our archery range. Tapping this up here. We have enough wood to start building a tower, so we probably should start building a tower as a gold line. We do spot this knight over here. We're going to try to get some damage in on it. And we do lose this villager on our archery range, unfortunately. Over here, his knight has fallen back. We're diving a little bit too deep here, so we lose a little bit of control here. Because we're trying to control this back here. So she is ahead technically now because she is killed a villager. Besides the French villager bonus, you can see is really kicking in. She's already at, technically it'd be 4 villagers ahead, but she's at 5 because she's killed one. We're just pumping out some more keshiks here. And that's the one big plus though, is like even though we're a little bit behind, the Uwu does allow us to take a military advantage here. Actually, that's a pretty good job of raiding here with the knights on her rotations. So we do see the scout. Unfortunately, we don't take out the scout. Might have been a nice play. But we're just going to go shut down gold where we can. She's down in barracks, so she's going to try to defend her base while she's raiding us. And unfortunately, we lose a villager here. And we don't kill the royal knight either. So we're trying to figure out what's a good kind of plan to attack here. We want to just keep raiding. We didn't want to stay in our base too much, trying to deal with this French harass. We did start making manga die. I did want to take my manga die force to try and work on this royal knight bit by bit. And over here we are trying to equalize the villager count. And we have killed 1 villager, but we've lost 2. So that's the big thing. She started to burn down our outpost. We are going to be able to cancel it before she gets over to 3 with it. Villager wise, we're on 15 on food. And so we should be rotating villagers on wood now. We put our gold villagers onto wood. That's why we're 7 on wood. Again, we're just running around trying to raid where we can. We got some knights on the backside of this wood line, ready to push across, and we're starting to make horsemen because now we have no gold, but we do have the upgrade for our horsemen. So we're able to just kind of chase off these royal knights. We'll try to raid where we can. We hit a couple spots, so we do have to fall back. There's a couple of spearmen here, so it's definitely not a fight we want to take. And we're going to try to, I think, wrap her on the side again. Yeah, we fall back with these guys pulling his army, and we're gonna go try to hit his gold line again, or her gold line. And yeah, we're rallying villagers onto wood at this point. And we're gonna pull a bunch of villagers, 10 villagers up to the north here. We're gonna drop a tower and a gur because we've got knights running around the bases. So a little bit of the delay, and you get a nice little attack here. And we're able to get out of here before the spearmen show up, which is nice. Behind this, we've got a raid coming into the gold line. And we'll kind of fall back here. Her army is stagnated. And we really get a couple of villager kills here. So we got 2 villagers taken out, which is nice. And then we can sit here and heal up, burning this mining camp. And really nice. And we're going to be rotating onto deer here. I could have microed this a little bit and gotten some nice spread on the deer, but again, so it doesn't do anything, it's just not really much of an option. She is starting to push forward with this army. We have a little bit of a defensive force here too. And we are dedicating a couple of villagers back onto gold here. Behind this, we are bringing down this mining camp almost completely. This is where she makes kind of a weird play. I don't know if it was intentional or if it's just an accident. But her gold, she's off her gold, and she starts to she goes for a flag hour. Anywho, we're coming up and over. We're trying to get some vision onto gold mines on this western side. We know she's got 2 nodes, so we're trying to get over to here. Let's see what we can. We don't see anything. We are starting to get sniped over here. We lose a archer. We lose a trader, sorry. And we were trying to trade, so we're going to try to trade to the south now. And we do have one trader active. Okay, there he is. Yep, this trader's active. So we see that these golds are completely free, and then she sends these 6 villages up to our gold. I don't know if that was intentional or what this was. It's just a really weird play. Like, I think maybe she's bringing the army over to like force us to fight over here. But you'd think they would drop a tower before you drop this. So I spot this pretty quickly. And I was kind of like shocked. I didn't expect villagers to do this. Fortunately, the micro with Mangada is kind of a pain. Over here, we do take out an archer, and the army keeps moving. Keep rotating over here, and we are picking up villagers. We've gotten a couple now. And we just have to be careful about how we fight these battles over here. And a little bit of a miss micro over here. We're gonna go hit the wood line over here. We're gonna go pick up my villager. These guys are completely disengaged and fighting elsewhere. Our traders are going. We do lose one Mangada. We got another one coming out. And over here, we were able to kill a couple of villagers, so that's pretty important. The issue is though we are fighting against the spearmen, and we lose both of our keshiks, which is really big. Because if those keshiks can stay alive and run around the side, kind of burn this house, or even kill some deer or something to help keep them regenerated, it would have been a big deal. But she's got a pretty decent army. It's spearmen and archer heavy, so we pretty much got her off with royal knights, which is not a bad thing for them. These villagers were sending back to here, and looks like she's rerouting them elsewhere. And their Mangada run into the army, so we just gotta run through here. Just gotta avoid this. We're gonna lose this trader, unfortunately. Behind this, we've taken our 2 separate control groups and we've merged them into one, and we see that he's still off of gold. Again, it's a really big deal. But we're also taking a villager lead at this point as well. And we do unfortunately mess up here a little bit. We don't garrison these woodline villagers, so we lose a lot of mills. And we didn't drop enough towers really to defend this our base. So that's again a little bit of a mistake considering, especially if you have 350 wood floating. So that's another thing. Make sure whatever you have here under your base, you need to drop the towers to be able to garrison everything. Especially as a Mongol player. And where did my army go? Oh, there they are. They're behind this. Okay, yeah, we're burning some houses down over here. She's got plenty of housing. She's not gonna get housed. And this would have been huge if you had rotated up into this food. And I should have realized that too. That the next play from here would have been rotating up to food because it's about that time right now. So we kind of mess up. We're trying to defend our base, and unfortunately we're getting pushed here, and we're trying to defend it. We're doing okay, but the one big thing is at least she is losing the Royal Knights bit by bit, which is definitely hurting, but she is on our gold, which is kind of a weird play, super ballsy, but it's not bad per se. They're denying my resources in my base, but I think a tower, like if you put a tower here, it's totally different. If you put a tower, you're harassing my units right when they come out. So now we just send a Mangada over to help clean this up real quick and push them off. And we're able to kill just one villager. Don't have to fall back, so there's at least something. But behind this also we do get onto a bunch of villagers back here, which helps equal out the villager kills again that we've had in game compared to them. And she's pushing our base, but we have a decent force of cabs here. We still haven't been able to get this tower up yet. And unfortunately because of all these spearmen here, we use a lot of cavalry basically for nothing, which is a really bad play. So a little bit of mismicroing there dealing with the situation. She's getting close to getting housed, but it's not getting housed yet, so we did want to push this. She had 7 spearmen. I thought she had a little bit less. So that's why I feel like pushed this. I thought I had more archers here, and that's why we have to fall back because we definitely miscalculated that. But we do get this tower up, which is gonna help a bunch. And we're just rotating around onto gold nodes here because we know she's not on this back node. We knew she had a couple of villagers left. and I wasn't sure if she went like full balls to the wall and went back, you know, up here, or if she went, you know, the safer route and went for her own gold, which would have been probably a better move. In retrospect, we are getting 20 gold per trader to this northern one. But we are trying to establish trade while we're doing this as well. Like her army's to the south, we're kind of forcing the fight down here. That's why we're trying to trade to the north right now. She's got a pretty good army. You can see value-wise that we have pretty much the same value army. The difference is just the comp. We're expensive cav army and the infantry base, longer range. So over here, it was really frustrating. I saw it coming and I kept hitting H. That's when I had my religious selected. So just kind of all sorts of misclicking going on. Okay, she's diving here under my TC. She's trying to kill my villagers. These villagers are up, running, and they're trying to fight. A little bit of Miss Micro, using a lot of Mangadite here for no reason, which is kind of unfortunate. But on the plus side, she is losing quite a bit of military. And when it's all said and done, after this fight, diving under TC, we'll have the same army value again. If not, we're a little bit ahead actually after this. So it's diving under TC is definitely a rough thing to do in feudal age, unless you're like completely overwhelming numbers or like knights or something. It's usually not worth it. I did wish Mangada had some bonus damage against spearmen. It's pretty crazy how useless they are sometimes. So I think that would give them a big buff, but whatever. Anywho, this has been going on for a while now. We had an army running around the side here, and I must have... I totally missed what I did with it. I think I rotated back to my base because there's too much pressure on our base, so we fell back. And army value-wise, not just double our army value. That last engagement was really bad. But we do have a really big eco lead at this point, which is huge. You know, part of it is traders, and part of it is just we've been able to keep constant production going. Over here, the villagers are trying to pick off our horsemen. The like unit padding for like the horsemen and stuff is pretty frustrating. Like that was an easy kill, and instead it like pads all the way around and did some crazy stuff. So these are 2 horsemen for a few villagers, which is technically worth it. And she is going back up to 3 knights. Up here we have rotated onto berries, just cleared up this berry patch, or this deer patch. And we are trying to move our symmetry to a little bit better position. We were going to be to the north, but we couldn't really because of his army there, so we're deciding to move our symmetry all the way to the south here to kind of set up a shorter, more secretive trade line. In retrospect, I think that maybe dropping right here would have been better. Because we're going to be hurting for gold here because of this big move. We do decide to counter raid. We decide not to sit around and fight his big army because he has got like quite a few spears in there. And we look for the counter raid on food, and sure enough, he is on the deer here. He had already cleaned out the berry patches though. We do kind of miss that opportunity, and he's going for the bears up here. She does GG out once she finds this one here because this was 9 villagers, and that's pretty much half her eco at that point would have been gone, killing those villagers. So pretty good game. You can see like lag really affects the build order, and timing really affects it. You know, this time we had our knights out in time to fight the French knight. We just kind of ran by him, but we saw how it was like a big deal in terms of like being able to put pressure at the same time. And then we also saw how like if we had like better timing, even an additional 10 seconds there, we're hitting their knight like when they're coming out of the landmark. So it's a pretty big, it's important little details like that in terms of being able to affect the 1v1 in your favor early, because the earlier these damages happen, the better. So you can see that she had the villager lead, but we had some good kills, and we were able to stagnate her around 30 villagers and keep her below that, while we were able to progressively go up, which is big. And militarily, you can see we had kind of a slow increase and some drops. We had a really big drop right here. So did she? That was that TC dive, I believe. And we dropped down again. We keep building military. She had a pretty good sized military, but the issue is, I think at the end of the day, we were able to get a little bit more kills in terms of, just a little bit more kills and a couple more raised buildings, and that was kind of like the difference. So, good game to our opponent. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you on the next one.